Hello. I'm making this video to contribute to Rome Cult because I love Rome and I've gotten a lot of value from you guys. And I think it's time to give a little bit of love to the Windows people. So if you're on Mac or Linux, sorry, this isn't for you. But stick around because you might get some cool ideas from this. It's a little involved, but I think it's totally worth it. Most importantly, though, this is part of a portfolio project I'm working on. So if you guys like this, then please like my video on YouTube and Twitter. I'll be writing a blog post on this to include on my portfolio to show that I provide value to people, and it would really mean a lot to me if you gave me some love. All right, so setting up Rome in a dedicated window. So why would we want to do this? Because it's like an app. You don't have to flip through tabs if you're the kind of person that has a bunch of tabs. It's gonna make it a lot easier for us. How? We're gonna use Microsoft Edge. It's actually a pretty cool feature that they have here. You just go to whatever website, let's say Rome, and you just click on this menu here, go to apps, and then say install this site as an app. And then you'll be able to, press Windows key, search for Rome, and it'll show up here. Now, let's set up AutoHotKey so that we can do some stuff with it. So all you have to do is after you install AutoHotKey, I'll leave it to you to figure out how to do that. It's really easy. Just go to a new folder, it doesn't matter where. Just right click, go to new, go to AutoHotKey script, and then name it whatever you want. Let's just say Rome. Then you can right click and then edit script. So that's how you get that started. Then if you want, you can, hold on a second. Where to go? No, yeah, so we're over here. So if you want, in this folder that you were at, you can create an icons folder. So let's do that. Let's just right click, new folder. You can also do Control-Shift-N, icons. And then you can download this icon here, which, because I think it looks a little nicer. It'll make it so that we have a little icon in the system tray once we get the script running. This you can easily find on, just go to Google, type in Rome research icon. You can find it and then convert it to an ICO and then put that in your icons folder. And then you're going to want to paste the script that I'm going to include in the description and elsewhere. I'm also going to post this this note here so you guys can have that. So just copy and paste that into the script. Just go to your Rome thing here, right click, edit, and then paste it. You already know how to do that. So now, how do we get AutoHotKey to open Rome? It's a little bit it's not entirely obvious how you would do this. So you can see here, this is my script here. I have a button here for F4. I picked F4 because, nobody uses F4. But you see right here, this is the command right here to open it. So yours probably going to look a little bit different than this, I think. It might not be, but I think it will be different. But to get that, just in case it's different, you just right click on the Rome icon after you open it, and then right click on this Rome button here, and then press properties, and you'll see here that it's already highlighted for you. Just press copy, the target right there, and then you're just going to want to highlight this part, and then you're just going to want to paste. If it has quotes, I think you can remove the quotes. I don't think it actually matters, to be honest, but either way, that's what you're going to want it to look like. So now let's talk about the button to launch the app. It's a little bit different with AutoHotKey because I want to be able to detect the window so that I can have the hotkeys do things only in Rome. So the button that I chose is F4, as you can see here, but you can choose any button that you want. Here I included a list of hotkeys that's in the AutoHotKey documentation, so that you can choose whatever, in case you don't know how to actually type it out. It's right here for you. But that'll be your button to launch Rome. It not only does it launch Rome, but if it exists, it'll also take you to it. So it's like your Rome button. If it's closed, it'll open it, and if it exists and you're not focused to it, pressing it will take you to it. Doesn't really matter how I got that to work. I got it to save it in a couple of different weird ways, but let's continue. So For text expansion, there's like a ton of text expansion options. I use AutoHotKey because it's powerful and I like having one tool that does it all. So if you guys want, I'll do a video on how I handle templates and more complex text expansion stuff, but I'll leave that out in this video. But there are a couple of ones that I would like to mention that you might not have done, but you could possibly do with some of the other text expansion options here. So let's look at that. This right here is, so if I type in /yout, Y-O-U-T, the idea is that I'll have like some YouTube video. I'll just copy the link of the YouTube video, and it could be also, you know, if you can click here if you want. Sometimes I do notes for specific sections of the video, so you can do that here as well. And if you want, then you know, you can, let's say right here, if I type in /yout, then it'll just do the embed code for YouTube and paste the link for the video. Then you can embed the video. So I like doing that because I take notes on some videos that I like to watch. So there's that. And then the image expansion one. So you can see that here, /img. It's basically the same idea. Just copy, you know, let's just take this because why not? Copy image link. And then you could do /image. Then you can embed an image really easily. Just copy the link of an image /img, and it'll paste it right there. The hashtag expansion. So if I want to link a page with a hashtag that has more than one word, then just pressing the hashtag button alone won't cut it because it kind of cuts it off. So I have it so that when I press the pound key, it also adds in the brackets so that I can, you know, do like quick notes or something, or quick capture, whatever. Anyways, you get the idea. It's a little bit buggy, by the way, Rome here. So that's that. So let's see here. What's next? So now we're getting into some hotkeys. This is where things get pretty interesting. URL link. So this one is kind of the same idea as the earlier one. So this is not as fancy, but let's say like you have some link, you know, let's say this right here. You just copy the link. Let's say you want to turn this word into a link. You just press that, highlight that, and then I have it caps F and control K, either one of those. But if you press it, it'll turn the highlighted word or words into a link. So you can see here. Something worth mentioning, I totally glossed over it, but there's an option for set caps lock state for always off. Caps lock is like a fucking useless button. So I just have it disabled, and I use it as like an additional modifier, which is actually really cool because I have like a whole new set of key bindings that I can use. So that's worth mentioning. So for example, end and home. So that's something that I use all the time. So caps D and caps lock A will be home and return, home and end. So you can just quickly go. I use this all the time. It's kind of weird to not have it when I go to other computers, but it's totally awesome. You can also hold Shift and then do caps lock A to highlight to the home, and then also the same thing with D. So that's super useful. You can see that here. Let's see, where are we? Here. Caps lock D takes you to the end of the line. Caps lock A takes you to the beginning of the line. This one here, caps lock and space, is easier search bar. Control U is kind of a cumbersome shortcut to get to the, it's like kind of, you have to really stretch your arm out. So I use just caps lock space because my pinky is already really close to the caps lock. My thumb is on space, super easy. I just press caps lock and space button, hold caps lock, press space, and you can see here that it took me to the search bar. The next thing, easier autocomplete. So sometimes pressing enter like doesn't do anything when you're in the autocomplete thing. So let's see here, easier autocomplete. So let's say, you know, I don't know, paid like this. If I press enter, it's not going to pick this first option, and I don't know, I think that's kind of silly. So I made it so that when you press control space, it'll press the down arrow button and then enter to select that first entry. So I just hold Control, press space, and it just auto completes that first entry. Super useful. I use that all the time. Let's see here. So block delete. So let's say you know, I have some additional block or whatever, and I just, you know, this block is totally useless, so I just want to just remove it. I could do Control A and backspace. I actually just did that, kind of stupid, but I could do Control A and then backspace again, or I made it so that if you hold Control and press Escape or Alt and backspace, it just deletes that entire block, so it just removes it entirely. So that's really handy. I use that all the time too. Easier headers, that's a really cool one too. I made it so that the F1, F2, and F3 keys make the block either H1, H2, or H3 headers respectively, and also capitalize the first letter of each word, as you can see over here. So if I have some, I could just type in, like, you know, some header and then press F1, and it'll highlight the first letter of every word and make it F1 or F2 or F3. So I could just, like, you know, quickly type, like, do an outline, type in, you know, something that I was thinking about, and then press F3, and then it just highlights the first letter, so it kind of makes it more like a title, more like a header. So that's really convenient, both because it, you know, capitalizes it, and it just easier to press F1, F2, F3. And again, you can change these to whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. This next one's really cool. I don't know if you're like me, but I have a set number of pages that I open every day. Like, you know what, I just have it open in the sidebar all the time so I can quickly reference them, like my live list and my vault and some other stuff here. And so it'd be really annoying and some other things, like, you know, if I'm working on a project that I'm constantly going to, but I kind of want to have this clean here. I want to have it in my sidebar. So if you see here, let's see here. Where are we here? So if I press Alt S, then I did like a function that you just input the search, whatever you want to search for. Like, it doesn't have to be exact at all. It just has to, you know, be kind of close to the name of the page. So if you have emojis, don't worry about it. So for example, my vault and my live list have emojis. This isn't, you know, an exact search, but it'll you know, go to the search bar. It'll input the page, you know, the search entry, and it'll press space because to make sure that it's not exact, because if it is exact, then it'll select to make a new page, and we don't want that. Sorry, it'll select the second entry, and then it'll go to the entry that we're talking about, and then press enter, shift enter. So you can see what it looks like here. I have, like, you know, a bunch, you know, 5 or 6, whatever, 6 pages here that I open regularly. So if I press Alt S, it'll just open all of them one by one, and then I can go like this. So you know, I can have like my stuff open here. So that's, you know, that's extremely handy. Let's see what's next here. So we have yeah, open set pages, auto capitalize. This one I really like too. I hope that this isn't going to be too buggy. I haven't run into too many problems since I, you know, did a bunch of little tweaks to make it to account for, you know, different scenarios. But the way it works is that when you press enter, it copies the whole block and capitalizes the first letter of every sentence. And because it's tied to enter, there were some problems. For example, auto-completing when pressing slash, the hashtag or the bracket, or using the search bar. You know, you press enter when you do all of those things. And so having my script take control of the enter key, you know, caused some problems. So I had to account for those kinds of things. The way I got around it is by giving myself 5 seconds to make a selection. So if during those 5 seconds, when I press enter, it'll just send a normal enter keystroke. So if I press slash and I'm looking for something, if I press enter, it'll just be a normal enter within 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, the behavior will be the behavior that I'll show you in a second. So, you know, let's say if I'm typing something, let's say hello, then you'll see that when I press enter, it made hello. It made the H capital. So if I say this is a sentence, this is another one, 1, 2, 3. So I have like 3 sentences here. So when I press enter, it capitalizes the first letter of every sentence. This is like super useful for me because I just like to press enter and start typing. You know, I forget to press shift, but I want it to look nice. So so there's that. There may be some scenarios that I missed, but hopefully there aren't any. Let's see. Also, I wanted to send a normal enter when I move the cursor to the middle of a sentence. So either with the arrows or buttons. So like there was an issue where like, you know, if I press here, if I want to like move the cursor here and like start a new line, send the rest of this here to a new block, when I press enter, it wouldn't do that. So I made it so that if the last thing that I did was press the left mouse button or move with the arrow keys, then just send a normal enter keystroke. So it preserves that functionality. So you can see that here. So if I did left or right or L button or caps lock and space, so that's another thing. So if I you know did the search bar caps lock and space, if you'll recall, sends you to the search bar. It kind of emulates the control U. So so that I can press enter and have like a normal enter functionality within 5 seconds. So you can see here you can see that here, key weight enter T5, and for these scenarios. And then this is to capitalize it, and then this is what it does. I also made it so that if it detects, like if you have like a link, to not mess with that. So if there's a link in the block, then it won't change things, because otherwise it would mess up links. So that's pretty cool. Middle mouse button to open links and sidebar. So like if I have, you know, you can either press shift and click, but I also made it so that if you middle click, it'll open it in the sidebar. So that's something that's kind of cool too. And then something else that I think is really cool is I made it so that when you hold Alt and scroll up and down, it collapses and expands different sections. So you can see here, I can close these kind of easier, because sometimes, you know, it's like you have to fumble around to get that little arrow, but this way I could just quickly, you know, expand and contract these here. So if I'm like trying to look for something or whatever, it actually makes it a lot easier to skim through things. So I think that's it for now. There is more, but it gets a little bit more involved. So we'll leave it at that. And if you guys are interested, and then I'll happily show you the rest of the stuff that I have. But I also want to talk about setting the script to start up automatically. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the task scheduler. You're going to create a new task. So press create task, and you're going to name it, call it Rome or whatever you want. I like to give it highest privileges, but you don't have to. It doesn't actually matter. And this also, I don't think it matters, but configure it for Windows 10. Why not? Go to the triggers, select new, select at logon, and then press OK. And then do actions, go to the actions tab, press new, and then where it says program/script, browse, and then look for your script. So do that. I'll just do it, why not? And then for conditions, whatever, I think that's basically it. Yeah, just press OK, and it'll create the task, and you'll be able to see it here. See Rome. I'm gonna remove this because I don't actually want this here. Whatever, I'll remove it later. But that's basically it. I think that kind of that goes over everything. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, give me some likes. It'd be really awesome, because then I could say that I provided value to people. And let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.